thinking about it, and I just want to tell your family. But moving in person, I don't want them to think badly of me.
Not told my family yet about the move. And leaving the family business and leaving it all on their shoulders is going to cause a big burden on everyone else.
I can already tell you straight off the bat that Josh is going to be a problem, because Josh has already shown me 3 times in this episode that he doesn't know how to be truthful. And it's not the case that he lies, it's more the case of where he withholds information. So he's one of those people, he'll tell you a certain portion of the truth, but he won't tell you the full story because, well, he thinks that withheld information is the best choice to do, even though what he's doing is actually affecting his relationship with his woman. Why? Well, because it is something that he's doing that is that is therefore going to break the trust, or at least start to, show cracks the trust. Because at the end of the day, if he's not willing to say certain things, surely Tana's going to get to a point where she's going to be like, does he trust me? Or does he actually value my opinion? Because he's always making choices without me. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, bear that in mind as we proceed throughout the rest of this video.
Because you always make decision before you confirm to me, and then tell me after this is the decision.
Tell me right now that what she's trying to really say to me is that, listen, I don't feel like you trust me. Because that's what I'm hearing. Because let's not forget, sometimes when women speak and they say certain things, they don't always necessarily mean what they're saying, because they just struggle to find the words that they actually look for. That's why for me personally, usually I'll ask a few little questions first before I give a reply, because boy, generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, the first thing that comes out of a woman's mouth may not actually be the actual problem, because she's trying to articulate what she's trying to say because she wants to try and find a way of saying it. Because listen, let's be real. Women like to try and make men freaking figure it out. It's all freaking riddles for the most part. Now, I'm not saying that men don't do this, but from my experiences with the women that I've been around, yeah, you definitely got to ask several questions before you know what the hell they're really talking about. And in this situation here, her expressing what she's expressing, she's basically saying, I don't feel like you trust me. You see what I'm saying? But she's delivering it by saying how she feels, not what the issue is. And generally speaking, women are good at telling you about how they feel, but not necessarily telling you what the actual issue is. Do you see what I'm saying? Let me know whether or not you agree or disagree with that. But from my experiences, women are good at expressing how they feel, not what the issue is, if you ask me personally. But nonetheless, though, let's continue.
I'm afraid that if I go first and then you tell your family, they're just going to hold you, and then you not go.
James told me that.
And now she's even worried, because obviously, he's not been honest with his family about the fact that when she moves to Indonesia, that he's then going to follow her on a permanent basis, or at least follow her until her health is in a better place. Because the whole idea of them going to Indonesia is because her health in the US isn't great, and the doctors in the US are just bouncing her all the time, and pretty much is getting worse. So therefore, she wants to go home where she knows they have the right treatments for her, which is, listen, a great move for her to do. But at the same time, she does not want his family to dislike her. And you know what? That is lovely that she doesn't want that. So that's why she wants to be nothing but 1000% authentic with them. But guess what? Josh over here thinks not telling them until last minute is the best choice. And to be honest with you, I don't blame him for thinking that when she leaves, and then he's supposed to follow, that he may not follow because he can't be truthful. Because what is he doing? He's putting cracks in their relationship. How is she meant to have full trust that he's going to come if she knows that he can't even be honest fully, if you do what I'm saying? But hey, let's continue.
He wasn't excited about the thought of having children.
What? You never told me that.
Like a couple months ago.
So we've already gone through the first phase. My man he doesn't want to tell his parents about the move. Now we fast forward to this. She's now finding out from a friend that he doesn't want kids, or at least the conversation of him not wanting kids has been a thing. And it happened a few months ago. Yeah, their whole relationship is literally going to be based on trust throughout the season, straight off the bat.
Why if he don't want to have a kid? I just feel hurt, like James not have that conversation with me.
And therefore, she's feeling more and more disrespected, and more she's feeling as if her voice is never worth it. More and more she's feeling as if no matter what choices he wants to make, he's always going to be willing to make them with that. I've been saying Josh, haven't I? My bad, James. There is a Josh though, okay? We're gonna get to him in this episode, right? It's a bit confusing. It's the first episode. Allow me, okay? Come on now. Nonetheless, though, James. So of course, she obviously is more and more feeling as if James was never gonna trust her opinion, or most importantly, she's probably feeling more as if James can't come to her with anything. Because if he can't even come to her with this conversation, then what the hell can he come to her with? So yeah, I understand. I see what's going on here. And she's obviously expressing it with her emotions.
We're just gonna have to stay here for a while. Because there's
I thought you was coming with us.
break.
I thought you've been taking care of that for like freaking 3 months.
And then this is number 3. I told you it's been 3 times this guy has withheld information. And now this third one here, as you can see, well, he's now letting her know that guess what? Our dog, he can't come with us to Indonesia because there's too many things going around in Indonesia that just isn't good for the dog. So right now she was thinking, oh, you know, he's going to come along the dog, or the dog's going to come at some point. Well, no, the dog isn't coming at any point anytime soon, because this guy here for several months has been withholding information. And he said that I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to stop you from making the decision to go back to Indonesia because your health is more important. And I was afraid if I told you, then you may have not gone back for the greater good of your health. I mean, listen, whether or not that is true or not, who knows? But either way, though, decision making. He seems to make decision making without even having a conversation with his own freaking woman. That is crazy. Listen, I get it. In this world, 100%, there are a lot of women that want a man who takes charge, who takes lead, brings in that masculine energy 1000%. But never does he ever say that I don't want him to at least ask me if I'm going to be okay, or at least keep me informed with the things that he's planning to do. Unless it's a surprise. A relationship still requires communication, and the fact that he has not been communicating screams very, very many negative things, and I can't imagine how she's even feeling right now. But hey, this guy's a clown.
And then now you just tell me the day when I left? I feel heartbroken right now, because if James don't want to have a kid, then Jojo is kind of my kid, and
So there you go. It's one thing for her to find out that 1, he doesn't want to tell the parents about the move just yet. 2, to then find out that, well, he doesn't even want to have kids, or at least there's been a conversation of him not wanting to have kids that he won't have with her. And then now to find out, wait, hold on a minute, now the dog Jojo can't even come to Indonesia? And so I can't have a kid? Oh, whoa. There's a chance he doesn't want to have a kid? There's a chance the dog can't come with us? Is there anything that I can have in this relationship? Are you ever going to tell me anything so I can have a say? Damn. Like I said, she's expressing exactly how she's feeling, and I'm just translating to you exactly how it's, how obviously James is supposed to take it in. Because obviously here's the thing, when women say things based on their feelings, it takes a very good man to be able to translate what she's really trying to say. And that's why I say, for me, myself in particular, if she expresses it with her feelings, but I'm still a bit unsure, I'll just ask her another question and be like, do you see what I'm saying? Till I know that we finally get that full answer. Well, listen, Natalia, I'll tell you this now. For some reason, you still chose to marry this man and to be with this man. So to be honest with you, I don't know if I feel sorry for you just yet. But hey, it's only episode 1, so we better get into it. But now let's move on to the next couple.
It's the longest you've ever been faithful to someone?
Yes,
Yeah. And you're being 100% honest with me?
110%.
Wow, some things don't change. So we're already starting off the Sapa and Shekinah storyline with them being in the same position they were in last time. And that is a position of trust issues, or at least from her side anyway. Wow.
Shekinah is always possessive. She always asks, where are you? What are you doing? She says it's a normal question. I'm just curious. You are not curious.
He gets so defensive, he gets so upset. He'll go as far as breaking up with me, and like 10 minutes later, he's crying and saying that, you know, we can never be apart. Someone
Yeah, everything that she just said sounds healthy as F.
in his 40s who's never been in a serious relationship and has literally slept with thousands of women has been full of challenges.
Kimim yok. Anladın mı mantığı? Kız öğrenci çalıştırmamı istemiyor. I was doing financially good as a personal trainer. But Shekinah was so 90% of my clients are females. So from my income, 90% cut right now.
Somebody tell me where the healthy is in that. Listen, from the last season itself in particular, we saw that she wasn't happy with him training female clients. I mean, listen, we could say it's more due to the fact that he has slept with 2,500 women, allegedly, or we can say it's due to the fact that maybe Shekinah just has her own trust issues in general. And if you ask me personally, for somebody that has so much work done to her face and God knows where else, usually someone like that, 9 times out of 10, no, F that, 10 times out of 10, that person comes with insecurities. Why? Well, because they're not even secure within their own freaking appearance, if you dig what I'm saying. So it is quite interesting where her trust issues really do stem from. Did they actually stem from Sharper or pre his existence? If you ask me, pre his existence, but of course, being with him probably hasn't helped to the slightest. But hey, we continue.
You know how I feel about marriage. I never have really wanted to get married, but I feel like I could take that step with him. We applied for the K-1 visa. Sarper can make about 8 times the amount in Los Angeles personal training as he can in Istanbul. And of course, by me being here in LA, I can be running my business in aesthetic.
First and foremost, she wants to get married. So they want to get married just so he can move to the States. So they're not getting married because they're in love. They're not getting married because they see each other as for each other's forever person. They're going to get married because they just struggle to be apart. And they struggle to be apart, well, because one, of her paranoia, because of her own issues. And two, I guess, I don't know about him, to be honest with you. I mean, he claims that he struggles to be without her. So that's why he may behave in certain ways. But I feel like his side of the story is pretty much kind of unclear at the moment about why he wants to also be with her all the time. But when it comes to herself, she definitely wants to be with him all the time so she can watch him like a freaking hawk. She wants to watch him like neighborhood watch, if you dig what I'm saying, you know what I mean? So yeah. But either way though, she's gonna move to Turkey for the time being, and then once they've obviously got married and the visas come through, well then boom bam, they'll be in the States. I mean, listen, her friends do question her on this choice of in particular. I mean, listen, if it works for them, it works for them. But if you ask me personally, these two have had too many cracks in their relationship that the fact that they're still together till this date, I question that highly. And to be honest with you, sometimes I would sit here and say, are they still together because they are actually wanting to be together? Or are they still together because maybe, well, they benefit from the fame? Well, let's be real. There's people that come on the show because it gives them fame or maybe helps them with their businesses. But then again, though, he hasn't got a business right now because she's not allowing him to work with 90% of his freaking clients. But it's funny because she thinks that coming to America is going to change that. She thinks that in LA, he's going to get more money because I guess the client is going to be bigger. But here's the thing, though. Are you going to let him work with women in LA? Because the matter of the fact is, if you're not going to let him work with women, and that's where he gets his money from, well, him being in LA compared to Turkey probably won't even make a difference when you really look at it in terms of numbers of how much it costs to live in the States compared to how much it lives in Turkey. And you get what I'm saying. If you know your numbers, you know your numbers, because at the end of the day, just because you may earn more money somewhere else, it doesn't mean that you can be living better in that place. If that place you're living at is going to cost more to live at anyway. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if you ask me personally, when it comes to the States, I don't think that she's going to let him work. Nah. She'll find something else to moan about. Facts. But anyway, let's continue.
Hands-on. He doesn't handle being apart well. And I don't either, but I don't like try to break up.
Well, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not
a reason to get married.
Or threaten to break up.
Sarper has actually designed a new nose for me.
What?
She kind of.
I mean, we already knew about the whole nose thing being a thing. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, like I said before, for somebody who's not insecure within her own appearance, there's no way she's ever going to have trust for anybody in this life. And to be honest with you, and there's no way she's ever going to be able to love someone properly because she doesn't love herself enough. And the fact that she thinks just because he's willing to also help change her, that must mean something because it puts her in a submissive role of some kind. Yeah, I mean, listen, if that screams healthy to her, that tells me how unhealthy she is to herself. It's funny, it was last season we saw her, she was going to Turkey again to see him, neglecting her parental duties of her daughter. And it's funny because she's going to Turkey again this time, but this time for much longer than before, to neglect her daughter again. Priorities. Well, with that being said, we'll move on to the next couple.
And I am on a spousal visa. After 5 years, I could request a 10-year resident visa.
So how long can't you can't work there for
As long as I'm there on a marriage visa.
So this is Josh. So obviously he's moving all the way to China now, and well, Man has left his work, he's left his job, he sold his house, he's living back in his parents' house, and now he's going to be living with his woman who's going to be pretty much, well, let's get into it.
I am not allowed to legally work.
She's gonna be fine with you waking up.
I hope so. Yeah.
Out the window to cup of
That's the
coffee.
way it is, yeah. And I am going to wonder, why does a woman like Lily want to be with a man like me and support me financially? And a lot of money.
And to be honest with you, I'm still processing that because the only answer that I can think of is because one, she loves you, and two, she trusts that when you are able to work, you're going to be able to provide. That was my initial thought. But then I saw the preview for next week and I thought, But to be fair, what she says in their conversation here kind of says a few things here and there.
Yes, lose a lot of money. I have a big stress, but this is my dream.
In the past, I have had relationships where money was an issue and I wasn't making enough. So I'm worried with all this extra expenses for the house, there's going to be a lot of pressure on her.
Me too so much, but I know we are soon together.
So here's the thing. She likes to point out, and this is something that he also points out in the preview for next week, that she likes to point out when she spends money and also how much she's spending, and also likes to complain about it because, as you even heard there, she's even talking about how she's obviously having to spend all these things for this dream house and a dream beautiful love that she wants. But the thing is though, if you're going to be putting yourself in a position where you are willing to want to work the hours, earn the money so you can live this life and be able to want to freely provide for somebody for the time being, well then why don't you do it without actually complaining about it, or at least expressing about it? Because she seems to always point it out. And I can't imagine how uncomfortable that's going to make Josh feel. Because in reality, based on what Josh has said, he's somebody that likes to be someone that can definitely work and definitely, pull his own weight. But of course, you won't be doing that for the time being. But here's the thing though. The other issue that we have is that we're dealing with a man that has a history of being with women, 2 marriages for that matter, okay? And I believe one of them, or either both of them, pretty much went south because he wasn't earning enough, which tells me that the women he was with clearly were not the right women, because the women that were obviously there and they needed him to earn a certain salary, and if he didn't, well then they were out. So really and truly, he dodged a bullet, you know what I mean? But the fact he got married twice is kind of nuts still. If you dodge a bullet once, you shouldn't be going into it twice. That's all I'm saying. The second one could easily kill you. Hit you in the right place. Unless, of course, you're 50 Cent and you got 9 lives, then it's a bit different. Nonetheless, though, it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how their relationship is going to find any potential balance itself out, given the fact that he's already got trauma behind women not wanting to be with him because he doesn't earn enough, to now be in a position where he's not earning anything at all. And then also on top of that, he's dealing with a woman that will happily express that she has earned, that she has spent this money, and that this is giving her stress and that is giving her stress. Meanwhile, he's going to be sitting thinking, I can't even help you. Are you going to basically leave me like everybody else did? Damn. If it was me and I was Josh, there's no way I'd be in this relationship with the type of trauma that he has. Yeah, I wouldn't be in this relationship because it's going to be way too triggering and way too damaging for his own mental health, if you ask me personally. But hey, I guess we shall see how the season develops as time goes on. But with that being said, let's move into the last couple.
I've been living on my own since age 16.
Let that sink in real quick. Let that sink in. She's been living on her own since age 16. Reason being is because her mum kicked her out, and then Corona then decided just to never come back. Obviously, it was maybe temporary according to her mum, but she said, nope, I'm out, and that's it. Let that one sink in real quick.
I was a go-go dancer, so I was like in a cage, getting like people handing me money. No one ever touched me. I was still a minor, but I was in that cage throwing that ass.
Minor! Interesting.
When you first met, you talked about how it had been your second time applying for the midwifery program at University of Pennsylvania. And so how do you feel about having to give up that program? Yeah?
This whole thing is very weird. Like if 2 years ago, Corona would talk to Corona right now, they would fight. Like, what the hell, you dumb bitch?
For a man.
For a man?
Excuse me? What do you mean for a man? Have you got a point there? Let me not even say what I want to say. For him. It wasn't even the statement that was the issue. It was more where the statement came from. But okay. But let's point this out real quick. Corona clearly has a habit of making choices on impulse, if you ask me. 16. She said, you know, F it, I'm out. Don't get me wrong. She was able to make something of it because she said that she was able to do this whole go-go thing, even though she was a minor. but she was still able to put herself through college. So you know what? Listen, she found a way to make it work. I respect it. I love it for her. That means that she's got hustle in her, which is fantastic. But either way, though, I feel like she's somebody who makes choices off the whim. Like if she's convinced something's gonna work, she's convinced, and that's it. And to be fair, her mum did say that, listen, there's no talking Corona out of anything when she's convinced. And clearly, this is a woman that is hell bent on certain things. And I feel like, boy, that's gonna be a game changer for this season when it comes to her relationship with Iggy.
Yeah. And I'm in love? What the to be with my person.
Does he consider you his person now?
He told me that he loved me, so that was a thing.
That's still huge, but that's not the same as being like his person.
Facts upon facts upon facts. Listen to what she's telling you. Listen to what she is telling you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
That's another question is, like, have you talked about engagement? Is Inky on the same page?
We have not talked about that, no. They don't know if he has that same mindset.
In case you haven't seen the episode and you're just wondering, I don't know what. So basically, this person claims it's non-binary, so now I don't know if it's a he or she, to be honest with you. That's why I just sit there and freaking pause. But in case you're wondering, you're thinking, okay, why am I looking at someone that looks like a lady with a beard? Well, guess what? This is someone that is, I believe, by birth a lady because this person is currently pregnant. And when it comes to Corona, her line of work is helping people who are pregnant pretty much be able to have a natural birth. And she obviously shows them different exercises and things that they can do, different stretches, all that kind of stuff to help them deliver a baby, okay? So I don't know if that's a he, she, whatever, because I'm totally lost. But I know some people are wondering because I know not everybody watches the show, but they come here to get the updates on what's going on because you know this is the place to be. Come on now, you all love me, right? I mean, if you don't, it's okay. I still love you back, but it is what it is. Either way, though, just so you know. That's why when so and so decided to sit and say, "Oh, for a man." Okay. Like I said, it wasn't really the statement, it was more the messenger behind it. But anyway, we continue.
Something I have to tell you guys. I'm moving in less than 2 weeks.
Moving where?
To Iceland.
Here, please. It sounds a little one-sided. Like I'm after him and not he's after me. I don't see a ring on our finger.
Mama ain't lying. Listen to your mama. Listen to your mama. She's not lying. Okay, listen. The fact is, you're up and leaving to be with this man who you've only known pretty much for 2 months or 2 weeks, 2 months, in the space of a year, something like that. And there's no ring on your finger. So make that make sense. And also on top of that, your friend even mentioned to you before that, well, he's not even claiming, you don't even know if he actually wants you for you or whatever, because he hasn't really said the same thing. And then mum is now putting out there that, hold on a minute, it seems as if everything is one-ended. It seems as if everything is coming from you wanting him. But where is the reciprocation? But hey, Corona is somebody, once she has something in her head, once she has something in her head, it is in her head, and that is that. Damn.
But how long have you known him?
So we've only spent like 20 days together in person.
So that's about 3 weeks. That's not even 2 months. I was being generous. Yeah, it's about 3 weeks. Yikes.
What's wrong with him? Why he ain't had a relationship? Something might be wrong with him.
I don't think anything's wrong with him. He was just waiting for the right person.
I love the way they were like, wait, he studied what? And he hasn't had a relationship? What's wrong with him? Something's got to give. Something has got to give. And to be fair, I agree. Something's got to give because that is very, very suspect if you ask me personally. But there is no telling Corona anything.
Moving to Iceland with a virgin.
He's not a virgin. I've been soft partnering him. So in times when I want to pop off, I take a few deep breaths and I come at it as like I was approaching like a bunny. You know, it's similar to gentle parenting in which you got to take the spice off of a lot of things. He's never dealt with an angry black woman, and I can unleash a lot of power
And I can unleash a lot of power. I don't know why, but she gives me Statler vibes. Girl just full of energy, you know what I mean? Not afraid just to say this, and anything. The only difference is, though, she knows how to control herself. Statler's just a whole different freaking ballgame, you know what I mean? Just she reminds me that it's her aura, her energy, but I'm not saying they're the same person in any kind of way. Either way, though, let's talk about this one here. So she is hiding her angry black woman side away from him. Damn. I wonder why that is, because according to her mum, for as long as she's known her daughter, she's had to go to school after school to literally speak to teachers about her own child's freaking behavior. I do wonder, is it because she's in Iceland and she's in the country where she's unfamiliar with people and she doesn't see maybe people of her own kind and she's like, damn, yeah, I don't know if this is the place to pop up because, I don't know. I'm just saying, I would be very curious to know why. she's been unable to, how she's been able to hold off her angry energy, to be honest with you? Is it because really and truly, I feel like sometimes it's our surroundings, isn't it? You know, when we are in a surrounding that we're not familiar with, we can't always be who we really are to our fullest extent. But sounds to me as if right now she's pretty much making this guy, not making him, but she's got this guy to fall for her based on a lie, because that's not who she truly is. Who she truly is, clearly.
It's not fair.
Ever, because of your mouth.
This person he's in love with is not the real you yet.
There you go. This person who he's in love with is not the real you yet. And that is the killer question. Does he really know who you are? Now, obviously, we've seen a preview for next week's episode that shows that, you know, things go a little bit south when she doesn't get what she wants when she meets him. So it'll be interesting to see, obviously, how that goes. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. Yeah, I feel like Corona's going to be a very interesting character this season. Very, very interesting character this season. We're going to see a lot of... That's the best way I can explain it, because I don't have the words for it personally. Oh, I do, but I don't want to say them on YouTube. Patreon, I would say them, 100%. With that being said, though, I will say this. So far, for the very first episode of the new episode of The Other Way, I'm going to say this episode was actually quite good. I mean, maybe... I'm going to say it's either one, it was quite good, or the bar's been set so low because we've enjoyed a very poor season of Love in Paradise, as well as enjoying a very poor season of Happily Ever After. Who knows? But either way, though, I'm looking forward to the season thus far. So let's see, obviously, how things develop. And of course, if you're looking forward to it too, you know this is the place to come to get those updates, as well as the commentary, of course. Come on now. With that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.